All right, guys, this is how you fit E30 M3 fenders in your S2000. Get you some blankets, you stack them, and you don't hit VTEC. So we got them loaded up. We're going home. Got to drive super carefully. These already hurt my wallet. I really don't want them to hurt my neck, and I also don't want to damage them because I don't want to do any body work on them. So we're gonna get home, and I really want to see how these fit in line with my door and the rocker panel, as opposed to the fiberglass ones. They fit like crap, and we made them work, but I definitely want to see the difference with these OEM ones. And I'm also even considering an OEM front bumper with all the OEM mounting. I think that'd be really cool to not fit that fiberglass, but we'll see. We're gonna get home and check out how these look on the car. Okay guys, we made it home safely. The fenders look very good, so we're gonna go ahead and go put them on the car and see what they look like. Oh my goodness, guys. Wow. This right here was a move for sure. Definitely worth the money. Look at that perfect fitment, and look at that bolt hole. Straight to the bolt. Wow. This is so awesome, guys. Man, now I don't have to work on these fenders at all, and everything looks amazing, and we can just go ahead and trim it out. I am going to prime them. They do have, one of them has, I think it's the other one, it has a little imperfection right there. I'm going to prime it just simply so I can fix those imperfections and it'll all be the same color when I lay down the paint. But just for reference, I'm going to throw on that fiberglass fender on that side, and we're going to check out the difference. Okay, so we have this fender on, and check this out, guys. So just right here, you can already see it does not fit. It literally overlaps, and it's all in its place. I mean, you really have to, even if you push it, half of it is still hanging off. Does not fit. Up here, it fits all right, but it's just like super rough, and this is in your engine bay, and it just looks absolutely terrible versus that just looks so amazing, and it looks all OEM. I'm going to show you real quick. Look at that, man. And this just flows perfectly to there, and the seal is going to fit. Everything's just going to fit. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy, guys. I can't wait to get started on this body work and finish this up completely and paint it. Guys, this thing's getting painted January. I don't know when this video is dropping, but January, this car is going to be painted. Mark my words. So tomorrow we're going to get to work on it and start doing some body work and get it ready. Prime these fenders, match them to the rest of the car. And I think I'm going to go ahead and reprime the whole car. That way I can get rid of all this paint. And there are a couple little pinholes and whatnot I missed. But we're going to go ahead tomorrow and get all that ready and situated and take this thing through the booth and throw down an awesome paint job. I am going to sand it down when it's done and re-clear it a second time. It's called a float coat, and it's going to look awesome. So stay tuned, guys. It's going to be super exciting. If you want to see that, be sure to hit the subscribe button. So as you guys can see, we do have the E30 M3 fenders, and they're awesome. They were very pricey. Their list price is about $1,500, but I definitely think they're worth it. As you guys can tell from the fitment compared to the fiberglass fenders, it was just the move, and it was totally worth it. And today I'm actually going to go over a couple mistakes I made in my M3 build and kind of go over everything and what we're going to get done today. If everything goes right, I'm hoping today to have it ready completely for paint. That way we can just go ahead and wet sand it at the shop, which I'm going to be taking it to Larry's shop, and I'm going to be painting it over there like I did V-Tune's S2000. So today, hopefully, if all goes well, we're going to have that thing ready for paint. And so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm gonna go get some materials from Harbor Freight, but I do actually need to go to our church. We are actually helping build the church, and we need to go over there and start putting up some ICF blocks. They've already got a lot of work done. So we're gonna head over there, do some work, and then go get the materials and get right back to the E30. Alright guys, so we just got done helping out at the church. It's actually pretty cool to see the process of the blocks and everything. Eventually it's going to get straightened out, all the walls, and then they'll fill it with concrete, so it's super cool. I'll definitely show you guys that too, but we're going to head to Harbor Freight, get the materials we need, and go from there. Okay, so this is what I picked up from Harbor Freight. Primer gun to prime it. That right there is for my day job to complete my icon set. But I also went to O'Reilly's and got some high quality paint, and I'll go over why, or not paint, primer. I'll go over why. As I said, I did make a couple of mistakes with this car, and we're about to go over that. I also got a respirator, guys. A lot of y'all were commenting about that last time, and my last one was a little dusty, so I got a brand new one to protect myself and my lungs, and also some sandpaper. So we're gonna go over a couple of mistakes I made on my build. Obviously, the first one has already been rectified, and that is these fiberglass fenders that are replaced with these beautiful OEM sheet metal ones. And as you can see, look at that, guys. I've been getting them lined up super nicely, and it looks awesome. The hood needs to go forward a little and a little that way to close up the gap on this side, and then it'll line up perfectly. So we'll go ahead and do that here in a second, because I do want to bolt these fenders down for good and have them nice and tight. And also another big issue I've had, which I've already started to fix it on this side. If you guys can notice, there's a perfect black line there, and that is a body line. And on this side, I panel bonded it a little too far forward. So as you can see, it kind of is too far out, and it's not really like a body line as this is. So the trunk isn't fully bolted down, but when it's in line with it, you see a black line there, and there's no black line there because it stops right there. So it is supposed to be cut through and move forward a little bit. That way it looks just like this side. So if you look at this and then you come on this side, you see that's how it's supposed to be right there. And that's one of the mistakes I made. So with this trunk bolted down, it looks like that, and that body gap is perfect. So I'm gonna do that on that side and then take this trunk off. And then obviously I have to block out this entire quarter panel and all this stuff, and I want to throw one fresh coat of primer over everything, including these fenders. So we're gonna get started and straight to work. First thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and get this hood lined up right here. Okay, so now we have a nice even gap, and then right here, once the latch is on and it picks up, it's perfect all the way through. And same on this side, which looks super good, which this fender still does need to be bolted down, but we are looking very even on both sides. And obviously when this lifts up, because the latch is not in, it evens out right here and comes flush to here. So these fenders, we're gonna go ahead and bolt down where they are. I'm gonna open up the hood, and then we can go ahead and start blocking all of this out. And also another thing I messed up on is these right here. And honestly, I didn't know how exactly they were supposed to be, but now that I have these fenders, I can see exactly how I need to do that. So we're gonna focus on these quarters right now, and we're gonna go ahead and get them perfect, block them out, and then we're gonna go ahead and prime them. So I have this taped off how I need to sand it, and I got my paper. I'm gonna do a little bit of sanding and show you guys how it turns out. So now we have this quarter nice and sanded, and also I really worked out this super nicely how I like it, and I'm happy with it. Right now I'm gonna run a line of tape here and make sure this line is perfect. Pretty much right now I'm just making sure all the lines are perfect. Then we'll go ahead and fill in any pinholes we find and get everything ready. That way this quarter will be ready. We'll move on to that one, get that one done, and we'll throw a fresh coat of primer over this and our fenders. So let's go ahead and get this taped off, get this sanded out, and I'll show you how it turns out. So I blocked it all out. I taped off every line. This right here is pretty much just to make sure every body line is perfect before I throw the final coat of that high quality primer. Another mistake I made, as I was saying about mistakes that I made on this car, was using cheap primer, and it shrinks up and it's not very high quality. So I have high quality primer, and I'm gonna fix any imperfection, and it's gonna be absolutely perfect. the high quality primer is going to go on, and it's going to be on there for good, and it will be sanded and painted. So we're done with this side. I'm going to wait for this stuff to dry right here to fix these imperfections, and I'm going to move to that side and go ahead and perfect that side. That way, once this dries, I can come back over here, sand this out, and then go back to that side, and then we can throw a nice coat of primer on both of these quarter panels and those fenders. So let's go ahead and sand that side. So guys, I got it all exactly where I want it. Everything looks super nice. I got all this sanded out. We're gonna prime it, and then I'm going to panel bond up inside there. I really like how it looks now. As you guys can see, it's an actual body line now versus you see the panel bond and it deletes the line. So it looks absolutely awesome. Can't wait to have it all primed. Then we can put this trunk on and I can show you guys. But once we get this primed and those primed, it's gonna be great because then we can sand it and get it prepped for paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taping everything off. I'm gonna take these fenders off. That way I can run plastic over everything and then put the fenders right back on, and the plastic will go behind there, and we'll make sure no primer gets on our new paint. Guys, so for the first time, I can actually say I'm satisfied with the bodywork on the E30. Every time I've bonded it and primed it and did the bodywork on it, I've just not been happy with it. And the last go around, I wasn't happy with this body line. As you can see now, it is actually a line, and it just turned out so awesome. I'm so happy with these results. And it just looks super straight and awesome. I do have a run right there, but I can confidently say that this is a straight quarter panel, and I can go ahead and sand this. Same with this side. It turned out super awesome. I'm super happy with it. I mean, you look at that. That's an E30 M3 quarter panel, guys, and it's crazy from where this car came to where it is now, and I'm so happy with these results. And then these front fenders look absolutely awesome. Everything looks great. There was a little bit of a waviness here, but I blocked it out and primed it. Now it looks perfect. And if you look at this car, I mean, everything is just nice and uniform, and everything looks really good. I really like this primer too. It is Nason 2K, and it was about $230 per gallon. So it was definitely a much nicer primer than the last primer I used. I'm really happy that this is the final coat on top of everything before paint, and I think it's gonna hold up super nicely. The original primer I used was Master Pro, and this primer seems to be a lot better. It lays down a lot better and a lot smoother. I mean, look at that fender. That just looks absolutely awesome, minus the trash. But I mean, it is primer. We're gonna sand it out, and we're gonna paint this thing in the professional booth. So I'm not really too worried about it. I'm super happy with this. And also inside here, as you can see, guys, everything was taped up, and look at that, voila. We don't have to sand off that paint that was shot off onto the edge here now, because it is all primed, and we'll sand this primer and it'll be ready. And it all just turned out super awesome, and I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with these results, and I think it's going to turn out amazing. So guys, pretty much now it is ready to just go ahead and prep for paint and get it painted. Like I said, I do want it painted in January, so we are right along schedule. Everything looks awesome, and it's looking really good and ready for prep. I'm going to go ahead and start sanding everything and prepping it. I'm going to prep it at Larry's shop. I'm not going to prep it here. I want it all to be done super nicely. One thing is, guys, a lot of people always constantly ask about the E30. Where's the E30? Where's the E30 and all this? Guys, you have to understand this car takes up a lot of time and resources. Just today, I spent $300. The other day, I spent the money on the fenders. I mean, that's, if you count everything in like a month, $2,000, and it's on nothing. I mean, you look and there's no progress. I also am looking at the rear glass, which I'm about to order. It's also $750. And you're talking about all these prices just adding up and adding up. And I mean, realistically, I don't even want to add up what I have in this car. But if I were to give a safe guess, I would say it's anywhere from $18,000 to $22,000. And it's like crazy because it is a project car and it does eat up money. And I do have a full-time job, and I am just building this thing in the garage right now, and it's just me. So bear with me, guys. I am going to have it painted in January for sure, though. That is my goal. My biggest goal for the start of the year is to get it painted. So I'm going to get straight to it and start prepping it, getting this thing ready. I think it's going to look awesome in the Laguna Seca blue, as you guys can see from this right there. I mean, that's just such a beautiful color, and I think the whole car is going to look amazing. I'm glad it's all trimmed out because we can just put it back together and just paint the entire outside and not have to worry about anything. So stay tuned, guys. Next episode on the E30, it's going to be at the shop, and it's going to be painted. No more priming, no more body work. It's just straight to painting. So you guys got to look out for that. And also, guys, I did find another E30, which is the perfect donor car. It has the sport seats. It has all the 325 IS things that I want, which is all the upgraded premium stuff. And I think I can reupholster that interior and use all the little bits from it, because this car has been stripped for 2 years, so I did lose a lot of stuff. So I did find the perfect donor car, you could say, and it's going to have everything to put it back together. So as soon as we get it painted, all we have to do is reassemble it, throw in that wiring harness from 325 Incorporated, and that motor is just going to crank right up from the key and all the original stuff. So stay tuned for that, guys. If you guys enjoyed this content and want to see the rest of this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're an OG subscriber, thank you guys for sticking around on this car. And bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get it done. But as I said, it is a project car. It eats a lot of money. And it's just hard to get it done, especially with a full-time job and working on it on the weekends and after work. So bear with me. We're going to get it done for sure, and we're going to get it painted in January. And I'll see you in the next one. If you want, you can follow us on Instagram at motorhead.co. I'll link it down below. We appreciate all the love and support, guys. You guys are awesome and amazing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.